Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Justice League Task Force Batman. This is Batman based off the Justice League Task Force video game from the probably early 90s. He's part of a Build-A-Figure wave to collect to build Darkseid. There is a platinum version of this Batman. In fact, there's a platinum version of every figure in this wave, and I'm on the hunt for all those. If anybody can help me out, please drop me a line in the comments below. In the meantime, let's take a look at the packaging. And I found this guy at GameStop today. At the top, 22 points of articulation, McFarlane Toys, age of 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batman, collect to build Darkseid. This is the fourth of 4 figures you need to build him. Here he is in the package. Looks like he has Darkseid's arms, collector's card, display stand, and a couple of sort of energy effects for his hand when he's punching somebody. One side of the package, Batman from Justice League Task Force. Other side, Batman. At the bottom, there's his barcode. Down at the back, here's an image of the video game. Here are the Darkseid parts to get Batman. Here's instructions how to build him. And here's the rest of the wave. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. Darkseid's arms, collector's card, display stand, and a couple of energy effects for his hands. Before I deload all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Batman from Justice League Task Force. Now personally, I'm familiar with the Justice League Task Force comic book, but not so much the video game. I had a Super Nintendo, and I believe it was for Super Nintendo. And I checked out some footage of the game online. It's just a simple fighting game. Doesn't look that good, although I've actually read decent things about it. This Batman is done on the Nightfall body. He's the only figure from the wave that I've seen so far, so let's take a look. Starting with the head here, he has that angry head from the Nightfall 2-pack. Looks like the same head sculpt, just no battle damage. White lenses in the eyes, and the whole figure is sort of pixelated. It looks kind of cool. It does look like he's from an old school video game, so they achieve what they're going for, but as far as action figures go, it's not exactly very practical. He's got some pixelating or cell shading on his head, his chest area, the arms, the boots, even a little bit on his utility belt. Here's a Cap's utility belt. He's got the yellow oval around his bat symbol on his chest. Like I said, down on the Nightfall body, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, a pretty traditional looking Batman. He's got a cloth soft goods cape with a bendy wire on either side. It's a pretty decent release, and he looks better in person than the promo images. When I saw the promo images, I said, wow, they all look like shit. I'm still going to get them, but man, they do not look good. I thought Flash looked to be the most normal of them, then Batman, then Superman, and then Aquaman, even if he was done in normal paint job. That hair is atrocious. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. He looks kind of angry, mouth open, teeth kind of grinding on each other. Pretty good head sculpt for a fighting game Batman. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane display stand we've seen countless times before. And then we have his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Batman from the 90s. I guess it's from Justice League Task Force, although it looks more like it's from the comics. Batman from Justice League Task Force. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And then we have Darkseid's arms. Can't wait to build Darkseid. And can't wait to build the platinum version as well. See the arms have that sort of dark, almost rocky looking skin tone, but you can see the veins in them, single jointed elbow, and just a little bit of cell shading on it. And then we have these energy effects for his fists when he's punching somebody, which is a dumb accessory for Batman, but makes sense for Batman from a fighting game. Now these energy effects look very similar to the items that came with the Arkham Knight Red Hood, but these ones are a lot gummier. Those are made of kind of hard plastic. I have no problem with them being gummy. They may not even be the same accessory, but they sure remind me of those. You can see where it's going to wrap around his hand like he's doing almost like a super punch. And they're both a little bit different. Here's Batman with one of those energy effects around his hand, like he's about to punch somebody, and it's kind of going through the air. And of course, if you want to, you can have both of them on at the same time. Now I want to talk about his cape for a second. It's a cloth soft goods cape. It's got a bendy wire on either side, stretches out about that far, traditional sort of Batman look. Like I said, bending one on the side so you can sort of have it flowing in the wind if you'd like. Kind of have both sides bending that way, and it looks halfway decent. Now I want to check out the differences, similarities, and reuse between this Justice League Task Force Batman and the Nightfall version, and he shares the most parts with the battle-damaged Nightfall 2-pack Batman. So let's take a look. Starting with their face here, looks to be the same head sculpt. Both angry, but this one's a little bit bladed up. This one is not. As we go further down, looks like the chest is the same. They both have the bat symbol painted on, but nothing sculpted. Stomach's the same. The belt and diaper's the same. The legs are the same. The arms are the same. Hell, even the cape is the same. These are literally 100% the same figure, except for the paint job. Here are all the different McFarlane DC Multiverse figures that utilize the Nightfall Batman body. There are a total of 15 of them so far, and when I get the platinum of this Batman, there will be 16. They've made Robin, Catman, a bunch of different Batmans, and Clock King on this body. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right at 7 inches tall, which can translate to just under 18 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.2 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, you can rotate side to side. He can look up and down about that far. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint goes about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest. Increase the range of motion and covering the large gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate, and it's hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion. I'd say you get a little bit more of the torso than the waist on this guy. Legs completely does splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is pretty much non-existent. Legs go forward, about that far, back not much. Double jointed knees. And his ankles, forward and back, rotate, tilt rock, and toe articulation. Here's a look at this Batman on top of a rooftop overlooking Gotham City. And here's a look at this Batman in a fighting pose, fists up, ready to go. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures. And since I don't have any other Justice League Task Force figures, and there will be a total of 10, all 5 figures including Darkseid, plus Platinum Chase variants of each one, and Darkseid is going to be the first Build-A-Figure to have a Platinum variant. Let's start by checking him out with some other Batman video game figures. Here's the Justice League Task Force Batman, next to the Arkham Asylum Batman. They made 3 different versions. And here he is, next to the Arkham City Batman figures. They also made 3 variations of him. Then, with all of the Batman figures from Arkham Knight, they made 4 different versions. And finally, with Batman from Injustice 2. They made 2 different versions. Now I'm surprised they didn't make Batman from Gotham Knights, as well as Arkham Origins, but maybe in the future. And hell, from Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League as well. And Telltale Batman, and all kind of older versions they could still make. They did make a couple of DC Batman related figures from Mortal Kombat 11, Joker, and the Batman Who Laughs, but no actual Batman, because I don't think he was in the game. Now let's check him out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Planet Ron Swamp Thing. Here's this Batman, next to the Amazon exclusive Court of Owls 3-pack, Nightwing, Talon, and a Court of Owls member. And here he is, next to the Norm Brayfogle Batman. Then, next to the recent Batman vs Superman wave, we have 2 versions of the Nightmare Batman, 2 versions of Superman, 3 versions of the Armored Batman, Wonder Woman, and Doomsday. And now, with the Zack Snyder's Justice League, Armored Darkseid with Throne. And now, here he is with the 8th wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Lightning Lad, Geoforce, Simon Boz's Green Lantern, and Grid. I currently have 8 of the 12 figures from this wave. Still need to get both versions of Chris Reeve's Superman and Mr. Terrific. Here's this Batman, next to the Amazon exclusive Arkham City Detective Mode Batman vs Solomon Grundy 2-pack. And here he is with some McFarlane Toy Store exclusive figures, the Nightmare Vampire Batman, and both versions of Jonah Hex, regular and platinum. Then, next to the third digital wave, Earth 2 Robin, and Silver Age Joker. I'm on the hunt for the platinum Black Tux version of Joker. And now, with the Amazon exclusive Shazam and Freddie Freeman 2-pack. And finally, with the Amazon exclusive Arkham Asylum glow-in-the-dark Killer Croc. Now let's check him out. Next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, next to several different McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures, and now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here he is, next to a box of Reese's Puffs cereal, and here he is, next to some DC Direct and NECA Batman figures, then with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures, and now with some Mezco and Mattel Batman figures, next with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty nice Batman figure. Way better than I anticipated based off the promo pictures. The cell shading, yeah, it's not exactly desirable, but it looks appropriate from a 90s Super Nintendo video game. His expression on his face, it's a little much. The teeth clenching together, grinding. I don't know, it looks like he's trying to pinch off a really difficult poop. The sculpt is fantastic. I really like the Nightfall body. My only real complaints would be sort of the wrists. They can look awkward at times. The cape is pretty nice. The wire, cloth soft goods. And the paint job is good. They totally achieved what they were going for. It totally looks like it's pixelated based off video game. But I was really hoping the Platinum Chase variant would be a traditional comic-style Justice League Task Force Batman, but instead they went a little bit more extreme and made an even crazier pixelated colored video game version. Like I said, the figure is better than I anticipated. The accessories are pretty much garbage. No extra hands, no batarangs, just those two sort of punching effects. Sculpt and paint job, they're actually pretty nice for what they were going for, but it's not something that I really wanted. And his articulation is everything you'd expect from a modern McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this figure, probably going to give him a 6 out of 10, and maybe I feel like I'm undershooting a little bit, because he is visually pleasing and looks nice, but he's never going to be in my traditional Gotham City fighting the traditional Bat Rogues, not with this particular stylized look. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.